to go, okay, that's what she meant. That was the stuff, but you don't want to stay at that extreme.
Right.
You know, we're not into, well, I guess there must be some extreme sports with horses, but dressage ain't one of them.
Cross-country.
I was gonna say,
Yeah, 3-day eventing, they have a death wish, yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh, thank you so much. That really helped, man. It's all gone, all that tickly stuff. Gone. Good. Okay, now we're putting her together. Now you're, try not to kick constantly. Try not to use your lower leg. Try to push down into your heel and kind of just hug her. And use your thigh a little bit. Turn your knees in, your toes in. Use the inside flat of your leg. Let the seat bones go down. So you don't let your core tighten so much that it pulls you off the saddle. Your core is used intermittently. Like for sitting trot, it's very much intermittent. It's not really, people I think tighten up too much, and too consistently. I think you tighten your core when you're bracing your back, but you soften it again when it has to be yeah, exactly.
constant.
Right. Good. She started licking her lips. That's a good sign. Don't let her get behind the vertical. That's when you can kick her or tap her with the whip or bring her up a little bit or do a half halt. Try to half halt her to sit her back on her butt. And that's both legs on all the way down. Don't swing them. Don't kick. It's like, yeah, squeeze. Yeah. Squeeze, half halt, set her back on her butt. Almost like, yes, that's fine. Good. And just talk to her tiny little ring finger movements and push her up into the bridle. It's all about the driving at this point without really kicking. And she might be used to kicking from all of her past. So it's hard to get them to listen to your seat. We want forward to come off your seat, collection to come off your lower leg. We want you to squeeze them into a stop, squeeze them into, just like you would squeeze them into a piaffe. Squeeze them into those lower and collected things. And almost like when you're bareback riding and you have to keep your balance and it's all slippery, so if you grab, you can slide right off.
Yeah.
You got to push them off your seat bones. That's what keeps them going. Bend and soften. Make sure that when you do a turn like that, make sure that upper right leg comes in strongly, outside leg goes back. You have the scissor action, turn your knee in, your toe in on the right. Knee and toe in on the right, heel down. Yeah, that way. That way, don't lean too much. Don't collapse in your left hip. Don't get your weight over that way too much. Left rein, you push from the upper inside leg to the outside rein. Then you bend and soften with the inside. And I say that with some, there's always a circumstance where it goes a different way. But in general, you want to be able to get them to go from the upper, thank you so much, from the upper inside leg into the outside rein. Then you open the inside rein. We want your hands to be of a distance apart. So if you're open the right one, your left one comes towards it, to keep the same distance. In other words, we don't want a lot of, there's a place for the triangle theory, the open both reins and you're out here and the point of the triangle is their mouth. But it's gotten really overdone lately and people just glom onto something. Nothing's happening right, so they glom onto something new, which isn't new because it all comes around. Believe me, I've seen it 3 times. And you have to, it doesn't work for everything. And you got to get out of it again. Nobody wants to ride around, or if the worst yet, if you're pressing your hands down and have them wide. And do this, have you seen the puppy dog hand thing and the pulling down like that, the pressing hands down, all that does is it just makes things worse. So you keep your hands even. You want your straight line from yeah, that's it. A little half halt, a tug, and I like the way you do it, that you tug on the corners of the mouth. That's not getting the bars. That's getting the soft corners of the mouth to bring her head up. But you have to squeeze with your legs when you do it. So that eventually, and you got to really kind of squeeze, like, this is like my tube of toothpaste is stuck.
So eventually she'll associate the leg
with doing it, and then you don't have to look bad in the arena where they're going to ding you for doing that with your hand. Wolfgang was so funny. Because he'd go, you know, he did those stallions at Temple Farm for 15 years. And he said they weren't all cooperative all the time, especially together, you know, and they're doing the quadrille. He said, you get in a corner and you do this thing on the outside rein where nobody can see it. It's like, you got to get these guys to listen.
Yeah.
Or the time that, you know, they wore those gooseneck rowel spurs, you know, like they did in the Spanish riding school, the gooseneck ones. And like when they would go so close together in quadrille, they'd get the rowel caught in the other horse's stirrup. It's like bad situation. Anyway, good. Pick her up and squeeze with your legs when you do it. Yeah, and then flex her at the pole. But we don't want her to see, because what she's going to do, she's going to start breaking in what they used to call the third vertebrae, which then they argue about what number vertebrae it is and who cares. It's the wrong argument. It's not about, oh, that really isn't the third vertebrae, that's the fifth vertebrae. Who cares? It's wrong. You know, I don't care. Call it the 100th, I don't care. Count it from the other end, from the tail up. I don't care. Good. Squeeze with your calves and pick her up. Squeeze with your calves and pick her up. That's it. Okay, now let's push her into a trot because she might need a little impulsion sometimes too. So you're going to get her soft. You're going to get her listening. You're going to give her the half halt so she knows something new is coming. And then you're going to shove with your seat bones. You're going to arch your back, then brace your back. Yes, beautiful transition. That was nice. And be sure that you're there though for the second half halt after she gets into the trot, because that happened with Dakota too. It's like you think you got it, you're home free. You're not. You still have to get the frame, and it's that second half halt. Remember how Wolfgang used to say in the canter? Yeah. It's that second canter depart, because otherwise they might break into the trot. Okay, now upper inside leg into outside rein still. So you're turning that left knee in. Try to drop your weight in your heels, and each time you stand up, you let your legs go longer. Don't hold them. Don't what we like crab them up. You know. Ooh, I just spilled water in my nap. I gotta watch all my agitation here. Good. And pick her up, and when you do, squeeze. Squeeze, try to do it with your calves as much as you can. Let your weight drop in your heels now. You're a little bit toe down, and I don't want you to be that way. We used to call those ballerinas when they were riding. We don't want ballerinas. And you know how that started was, if long stirrups were good for dressage, longer must be better. And pretty soon everybody was reaching for their stirrups with their toes. Exactly. And you don't want that. You want to be able to drop into your heels. You want that long look. Oh, I spilled water in my lap here. There we go. Oh, okay, thanks.
These are no stirrup leather, so it may be that I've got them a little too long.
Okay, yeah.
When you're done with the mug, you can just leave it in that bottom.
Okay, okay, thank you. And pick her up and right knee now into the left rein. And pick her up and move her forward. Remember, always a little more forward than she offers. And don't get your foot too far into the stirrup. Let your heel drop each time you stand. It's got to go down. Even though you're rising, you want to be getting down closer to her. I don't know how to explain it, except letting your weight drop into your heel. Now your right one's doing better. Don't let the ball of your foot get too much in front of the stirrup. Yeah. And turn your toes in. It's all really uncomfortable. It's all really about pigeon-toed and inside flat of your leg, because the back of your calf is really soft, especially if the toe is down and the heel is up. It doesn't have any effect on them. So you almost want to use the inside flat where you can get a little bit of the, what's this again? The shin. The side of the shin. Good. So you want to, because that's more firm. That's something she can feel. Yeah. I mean, horses like a hug just as much as anybody does, but they don't respond to it. I'm going to look like I wet my pants from the foot. Okay, she's got some foam on her lips, good, but she's a little down and behind the vertical. Keep dropping into your heels. Keep dropping into your heels. It's got, yes. It's almost like you have to push them down as you pick up your seat. Because you don't want to post high off the saddle. You want to post close to the saddle. You want to get further down into it. You want to post close to the pommel. Never fall back on the cantle. And you want to pick her up and put her down. And when you pick her up, you got to use your leg in a different way. Post off your calves. I would almost make you drop your stirrups and do posting, but I'm not going to do it. I won't be that mean.
I'll just shorten them for tomorrow.
Okay. You can do it now if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. Drive her into the downward transition and half off, half off, half off. Good.